Off the clock, I am a woman first. I am black, proud woman, creative being, child of the universe. Yes, in short, alcohol is not the problem. It is the unhealthy and unsafe consumption of alcohol, and that's what we focus on in the work that we do. And then I started to realize also that some of these ideas and these plans that we have are not ours. They are there because of nurture and how we grew up and the things we grew up watching or hearing or seeing or even in our own communities. And then realizing that firstly, the reason I'm not married or haven't been married is because I haven't, and I guess the same for them, but I haven't met anyone that I would have wanted to spend the rest of my life with. I think most women do, or most women of a certain era. I mean, I'm an 80s baby, so yeah. I think at some point I was like, yeah, 2.5 children, and then you get married, and then blah, 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 shebang. And then I realized that life is not as linear as one thinks life is.
Yeah, it's very true. You're right.
Yeah. I'm in such a fortunate position working as the CEO of Aware. I think the work that we get to do is something that is impactful, something that changes lives.
And welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Off the Clock.
How do you deal with stress? How do you handle that?
Coping mechanism that I have is I go for a run.
Manage stress by obviously being moments like this. Directly saying I'm going off the clock.
Just even a night out.
I'm listening to my favorite music. I go into one of the studios at the gym and I dance.
Sip cocktails and rest and just do nothing.
I ground myself spiritually.
The right amount of stress is good. It helps you push boundaries. So it makes you have a sense that you are alive.
And then just having fun. I mean, there's nothing that beats good conversation and a laugh with the kids and a glass of wine.
Mokebe, welcome to Off the Clock. And I know it's been a long time that we're trying to, get this interview going. Thank you for making the time to be here with me. And Off the Clock was founded to demystify people like you, especially on what you do off the clock. Not so much about, the 8 to 5 stuff, but to kick off, this discussion, I just would like you to tell us a little bit about who you are, the way you know best.
Yes, thank you for having me on Off the Clock, Peter. I'm really pleased to be here. My name is Mokebe. I'm the middle child of 3 girls.
Okay,
born and bred in a town called Welkom in the Free State. Was lucky enough to grow up in a small town, which Welkom is. A lot of people always like, oh, is it the city with no traffic lights? And I'm like, well, we've got 2 now.
I always have this, connotation about Welkom. Do you speak Afrikaans?
I hardly ever make use of the language of Afrikaans, but yes, I can speak Afrikaans.
So, to me, in my mind, it's like a platteland. I mean, in a good way.
It's not as Afrikaans as the platteland, but it is very much an Afrikaans town. But I guess it depends on where you find yourself located in the town of Welkom. Which I guess I didn't find myself located in the Afrikaans part of it. And off the clock, I am a woman first. I am black, proud woman, creative being, child of the universe. Yes, in short.
Okay. I mean, tell me a little bit more about the organization that you're with. And I mean, it's very, very useful, impactful organization making the big difference in terms of the drinking world. Do you want to just elaborate a little bit about that side of things?
I would love to. I think that I'm in such a fortunate position working as the CEO of Aware. I think the work that we get to do is something that is impactful, something that changes lives, we hope, and something that impacts and affects many people in this country. And we get to do our part in helping curb the scourge of drinking in this country. I think many of us can agree that South Africans have an unhealthy relationship with alcohol as a whole.
Okay. All right. So you'll tell us about how that looks like, because I'm sure a lot of people agree. Some people disagree that the relationship is very healthy.
Before I say that, but many more people have a healthy relationship with alcohol. And thus for us, alcohol is not the problem. It is the unhealthy and unsafe consumption of alcohol. And that's what we focus on in the work that we do.
Okay. I mean, are you successful in doing that?
Success is relative, right? And it's difficult to measure. In terms of our KPIs, we are successful. Of course, scale is something that we're always trying to upweight.
I mean, sorry to interject. I mean, successful. We still have too many people dying on the road every day. Just now, I mean, long weekend is coming next week. Easter weekend is coming in. School holidays is coming. I mean, they are coming. And we have too many people dying on the road. And often, apart from reckless driving, it's driving under the influence of alcohol. So where is the success that you're talking about?
Well, the success that I'm speaking about is where we are able to actually change behaviors, where we are able to create awareness and education around the matter of drinking under the influence, where we are able to partner with the right organizations in order for us to make a difference in the before, to make a difference in the during. The before is, let's say, mass media and organizations that teach people that drinking and driving is not good, the dangers of drinking and driving. The during, which is the likes of the RTMC and the Metro Police, whether it be Joburg Metro, whether it be any of the other metros. And then the after, the organizations like the Necros of the world, which work on the rehabilitation of people that have fallen through the cracks. So we take the 360 look at this problem. I mean, any one person that dies on the road because they were driving under the influence or someone was driving under the influence is one person too many. But our job is to see how we can move the needle in terms of that number.
Is that needle really moving? I mean, I hear you're driving awareness. I mean, does that, interpret into people actually changing their behavior, stopping to drink and drive, or stopping to drink to just, destroy their lives? Because, if you talk about, AA, Alcohol Anonymous, and Necro, and all those organizations exist because of alcohol company, because of failure in intervention. That you're talking about success. I mean, please forgive me. I don't see it.
I mean,
I don't.
I think your comments are fair enough, Peter, and I think not seeing it might be a part of seeing it. I think the numbers that were reported towards the end of last year is that over the past decade, there'd been a reduction in road fatalities.
What, 0.005?
No. It was something significant, like
2%?
No, I think it was closer to 10%.
10%.
Yeah. But at the same time, we can't take credit for that as a way. We can't say, oh no, we are the ones that moved the needle, changed these numbers, because we don't do it alone. We work with very many organizations. It is
play your part. Yeah.
We just play our part. It's a whole of society problem, and it affects everyone on the roads. And so we play our part. We choose very specific areas. No to underage drinking. Don't drink and drive. And FASD, which is fetal alcohol syndrome disorder. So sober pregnancies.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly that. And we hone in on those so that we can do real good work in those areas and not try to spread ourselves too thin and be everything to everyone.
So just a follow-up question. Where are, the big culprits, the big alcohol companies? And I'm going to mention them here, not shame them, but mention them here. SAB, InBev, Heineken, Rykard, Pioneer, whatever, those guys who are really, pouring the drinks out there. Where are they? I mean, they're leaving you to fight this fight alone and they're busy not helping. I remember seeing a very interesting advert about SAB breweries, about the bread of the nation, saying, they use the same kind of ingredients to make the bread so that people drink and they don't eat. They worried about you kind of being strong to drink more.
I certainly am not in a position to make commentary on SAB's advertising, particularly that one, which I haven't seen. But what I can say is that some of the other brands that you've mentioned are our members. They are members of AWARE that are funding the work that is being done on the ground. We work with SAB InBev too.
How much are they funding? Just a little bit to get the PR or enough to make move the needle? You spoke about moving the needle. I mean, is the funding enough for your organization to make the impact?
I don't think any funding is ever enough for any NPO to do anything, because enough would be problem solved. So.
Okay, good enough.
Yeah.
Is it good enough?
It is sufficient for the work that we're doing at this time. We are always looking at scaling. We are always looking at partnerships. We are always looking at growing. And I think our partners or our members, the Heinekens of the world, the Diageos, etc., take this really seriously. They do understand the dangers of unhealthy alcohol consumption, and they take it on as a part of their responsibility.
A lot of people understand that, but they're not doing much about it. They understand that alcohol kills, alcohol is dangerous, but they are not doing much to prevent that. But I mean, less about that stuff. I'm interested in you, how you kind of go off the clock, how you relax, what do you do after work, because I think your job is keeping you awake at night. I mean, think about it. You're not making any much more impact, which you're supposed to make, and therefore that's probably keeping you up at night. What do you do off the clock?
Well, firstly, I reject the statement that came before the words, what do you do off the clock?
Yeah.
But what I do off the clock is I do things like I use my body. So I go for walks, I swim, I do a little bit of yoga, I practice mindfulness, I do prayer and meditation. I intentionally do breathing exercises. I paint. I talk to friends. I go out with friends. I go for coffees. I go for drinks. I go to...
what type of drinks?
Drinks, whatever. We go out, people drink. I have my drink, they have their drinks, whatever it is.
Red wine or white?
Oh, no, not for me. But yeah, to each their own.
You look very calm and relaxed. Like you sleep well. How many hours of sleep do you do a night on average?
I probably sleep about 6 or 7 hours every night. I know optimally you should sleep 7 to 9, but yeah, 6, 7 on a good night, 8 hours a night.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. Any stressors in the line of lifestyle and work that you do that kind of keep you off balance now and then?
I mean, I think life is sometimes stressful, but the way I try to do it is that I take each thing and I cut it up into pieces, and I take things in bite sizes. And if
Okay.
it's one thing, I take it, finish it, consume it, chew it, swallow it, digest it, keep moving. And even if I have to maybe take a few bites of different flavors in a day. So it's about cutting things up in bite-sized pieces, taking
Okay.
things one day at a time. And I think that's how you avoid the overwhelm.
The stress, the
Staying in the
depression,
present,
the
staying in the
anxiety.
present,
Yeah.
staying in the moment. Yeah. Because right now, the second, everything is fine.
Okay. You mentioned earlier that you like kind of I mean, not kind of, you are a middle child.
Yes.
And how's that been kind of not being the focal point, you're just there, or what's your experience being the middle child?
You know, I think it's so interesting. Like, well, in the past, I did a little bit of reading on older children, middle children, the youngest children. In fact, I saw a video on the youngest children in the family yesterday, and I sent it to my little sister with a little heart. And I say little sister, she's not little at all. She's in her 30s. But she'll always be my little sister. I think a lot of the things they say about middle children are probably correct and a little bit funny. But yeah, I think for me, the way I manage to stand out is to be an achiever, really. Yeah.
Okay. What I mean, I never really asked you, off the set is, are you married, kids? Where are you there?
I am not married and I am child free.
Okay.
By choice.
What's the end game there?
The end game is potentially to find a life partner if it happens, if it is to be, but I do not have any intentions of being a mother. I'm an aunt and I love being an aunt, and that's more than enough for me.
That's big, right? Making that choice that you don't want to have children. How did that come about? I mean, did something scare you off? Or what happened? Let me in.
I think for years, maybe I thought I wanted kids. I think most women do, or most women of a certain era. I mean, I'm an 80s baby, so
Okay,
yeah. I think at some point I was like, yeah, 2.5 children, and then you get married, and then blah, 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 shebang. And then I realized that life is not as linear as one thinks life is.
Yeah, it's very true. You're right.
Yeah. And then I started to realize also that some of these ideas and these plans that we have are not ours. They are there because of nurture and how we grew up and the things we grew up watching or hearing or seeing, or even in our own communities. And then realizing that firstly, the reason I'm not married or haven't been married is because I haven't, and I guess the same for them, but I haven't met anyone that I would have wanted to spend the rest of my life with, never mind their children with.
That's the point, right? I've met way too many people who often jump to the conclusions that I don't want to get married or don't want to have kids, and then life happens, and please, I'm not judging. I'm just this is my shared experience to you. You know, I met this guy, friend of mine. It's like I don't want to have children. Bringing children in this earth is like difficult. It's complicated. It's too much responsibility and all that. Boom! Before I know, I had two boys. You know, so I think it's quite complicated to make that decision alone. You know,
Yeah.
first I think you find that life partner that you're talking about, and then see how it goes. Because sometimes in a relationship, you kind of co-plan, co-create in terms of that.
No, Peter, I do not want kids.
Yeah, no, I respect that and understand that. I'm just sharing my experience. Yeah, that I've seen that a lot of people start with I want 0 and they end up with 4. You know, and I mean it's your business. If you change your mind, the mind is there to be changed. You know, so I'm just warning you a little bit of what I've seen happen, reality of where people start and where they end up. So, I mean, I'm not jinxing you. so just
No, I think children are an absolute blessing, and I'm always amazed at parents, particularly mothers. I have nothing but the utmost respect for them. I just do not think that it's for everyone. But again, I agree with you in that no man is a tree. We're not stuck anywhere. We can change our minds. And that's why the whole don't ever say never. And I'm with you on that. But for me, so far, this is the choice I make.
Okay. Let's move on. Travel.
Yes.
Is there something that you do outside, South Africa? Have you traveled? Do you have any aspiration to travel much more than you've done? If you haven't or have, what sort of cities around the world that you really would like to hit in terms of your bucket list?
I have traveled. I've done Africa pretty much. Well, I've done Southern Africa, a few countries in Southern Africa, and I've done some of Europe. I've had some wonderful opportunities from a travel point of view, and this is leisure travel. I've always believed in travel, but this stems from my love of reading and, reading about different places and wanting to discover different places and see them for myself. I'm continuously trying to add to my list of places that I want to see, so that as I plan my travel for each year, then at least I have a few options and I can start doing research on them and decide, is this the place I really want to go to? I find that this year, I'm finding that South Africa is such a beautiful country and has everything that you might want, and sometimes I wonder why we always have to go so far out of ourselves to find, this Mecca that we're looking for, even though I so strongly believe in travel and in exploring different places. So even for my big holiday or destination this year, I'm not sure where I want to go, but I don't want to go to any place for the sake of it or just to say I've gone there. I want to go there because I actually want to experience the things in that country or in that city that I go to.
But where have you been that, outside South Africa or in South Africa that you stayed with you?
My last holiday was Greece. We did the islands. That was absolutely beautiful. I will never forget that. We did Athens and then we did the islands. I think my favorite one was Ikaria, where some of the oldest people live, as in the people there have the longest lifespan. I guess because they live such relaxed lives and eat so well and drink so much wine.
Wine is good.
Yes. which keeps them youthful. So the islands are an absolute must if one gets the opportunity to do that. Spain, for me.
Which city?
Spain, I did Madrid a few years ago. The last time we went to Malaga, and what is the two others? Where's the varsity?
Well, Barcelona.
No, I have not been to Barcelona. But I might go to Barcelona on my next one. But yeah, so Malaga, Seville.
Seville.
Yeah.
Okay.
France. Yeah. Paris is for me the most beautiful city in the world, I still say. And I think beautiful cities, I mean, a lot of people have lots of bad things to say for some reason about Paris, but beauty-wise, I think it's beautiful. I think Rome is fantastic.
You really think that Paris is beautiful?
I do.
Oh, but just romantic
Yeah,
story
like
about...
aesthetically, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful. I think...
don't you think it's chaotic at times?
It can be. And I think even the people that can be rude at times. The language, I mean, I did a few years ago French 101 and I got there and I was like, what are these people saying? But the city itself is beautiful. It is a work of art. I did Namibia last year as well. Just stunning, like so many gems to discover there. So there's many places that I still want to go to. But yeah, I have had my fair share of travel, which I'm grateful for.
Yeah. I mean, I just remember going to Madrid, and then I took a trip to a town called Toledo, which has got all the religions of the world in one city. And on the way to Toledo, I saw this temple, which was donated by the Egyptians to the Spanish people who helped them to save some of the temples in Egypt. So, that piece of the history story was just, powerful. Personally, I've been to many, many places. I pride myself having been to about 43, 44 countries on the continent.
Which is magnificent.
Interesting cities and food and all that. I mean, to your earlier point, I think no doubt, no question about South Africa being, the most beautiful place on the planet. It called me biased. But I think what I found very useful traveling the world and being many places just only helped me to reconfirm that South Africa, home is the best place. But
Absolutely.
if you don't go there and see, you don't get to know. I drink wine. I collect wine.
Yes.
And I've been to some of the winelands around the world. And one that always stayed in my mind is a place called in Spain, those small islands, Tenerife, which was wine farms that came out of the volcano ashes that happened years ago, and just give a bit of a interesting taste on the wine, on the palate, and
Yes.
most beautiful wines and all that. But I mean, I've been to the Riesling wine farms in Germany. Some of the best Rieslings is from Germany, Florence in Italy,
Yes.
and Beckend in France, and some winelands in Spain as well, and Chile, and also Argentina, and of course Napa Valley
I
in
still
California.
need to do South America.
Napa Valley, yeah. So travel is very educational. You take a lot out of
Yes.
it. I remember my first trip to Rome. Went on business, but we visited some friends who were at the embassy in Italy, in Rome. and they took us around on kind of a ambassadorial car that stops everywhere and goes everywhere. We drove at night, and the stark thing was seeing the hookahs as you leave Rome.
Yes.
White hookahs on the right side of the road and black hookahs, like South Americans
On the
and
other side of the
Africans
road.
and all that. It's like, wow, the world is something
Even
else.
in,
Yeah.
yeah.
So let's keep moving. Out of travel, are you religious? Are you somebody who's God fearing?
I wouldn't say I'm religious, but I am spiritual. So yes, I am God-fearing, but my God is not necessarily a God of a specific religion.
Okay, so
Ultimately, I think it's the same God. God is God. But that's a controversial subject which I shall not walk myself into.
Interesting. Okay, so you don't go to church.
I do not.
Okay. I'm not judging. I'm just trying to do my interview, right?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So what about food? I mean, are you somebody who loves food?
I love to eat food. I love to eat amazing food. I love flavors. I love
Cook.
cooking. No, not so much.
Okay.
You know, I'm not a cook. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. And I don't know. I didn't get that gene. I mean, my sister is such an excellent cook and she makes amazing food and she experiments with things. And I'm always like, wow, that's so amazing. But it's not me. And the funny thing is that, like the choice not to have children, people don't believe you. You like, I don't cook. They're like, yeah. Sure. But yes, I keep myself fed. I keep my meals simple. So I do cook and I make good food and I can cook. I do have the ability to cook. I mean, I grew up cooking. I grew up in the kitchen.
I understand.
Yeah, it's just not something I enjoy doing.
I understand. Your preferred food type?
Oof, I love my comfort food. Absolutely. So my very much South African food. I love my stews and my dumplings and my samp and
Traditional
food. I absolutely love traditional food.
I see
Steak.
you really coming alive and changing your face when you talk about food, huh? It's like
Yes, I love a beautiful steak. At some point, I had the ambition of finding the best steak in town in Johannesburg.
I can help you.
I'm always keen to try out some place that makes a great steak. Yeah. I think those would be my top tier.
Okay. If you found a good place that makes steak, I mean, I can help you. If you're still looking.
Yeah, I'm always up for recommendations when it comes to that. I found a couple of places. I don't even know if the one still exists, but there was this one place in, believe it or not, Melville. What was that restaurant called? I can't remember, but they made the most amazing steak, and you could go there on a Sunday afternoon, and there'd be the most wonderful vibe, especially in spring or summer, with the DJ playing in the background, and you'd sit on the deck and have this beautiful steak. And I think they had a copyright issue with their name or something. I wish I remembered what it was called. Husa Grill makes a good steak. There's obviously the marbles of the world and the, cool restaurants. But I also like to find nooks and crannies and not necessarily the... Yeah.
What about music? I mean, what playlist do you have in your car right now?
I know everyone says this, but I'm so eclectic when it comes to music. I was watching, what is her name? lover. Ooh, na, na, na. And my sister and I went to her concert a few years ago. She was here, and I commented on her TikTok. I love my female vocalists. I love the likes of Tracy Chapman. I love your Nora
Tracy
Jones. I love your Michelle Ndegocello. But also, I love alternative music. I love The National. I love Bon Iver. I love so many different types of music. Anything for me that, I don't know, is moving. There's a band called, I think the band is called Daughter. They are amazing. And I dare say, and I don't know if I'm brave enough to say this, but years ago I would never have admitted this, but even like Taylor Swift has a couple of good songs. Macy Gray, I think, was a woman before her time. Like, I think she's really good, but the world wasn't ready for her. Of course, I think Beyonce has some great songs. I'm not a big Beyonce fan. But my female vocalists, Sarah McLachlan,
Wow.
Yeah.
What about movies? Do you ever watch a movie to relax? All-time favorite?
Sure. Actually, recently I've watched a few of my old faves, which is movies like Meet Joe Black, which is Jim Carrey. What is that?
Okay.
I'm so bad with star names as well as movie names, but yes, I do enjoy artistic movies. I love art house movies.
Okay.
Yeah, that is my flavor of movie. And then there's the books, of course. Yeah.
Which book are you reading now?
I'm reading a book called, an audiobook called The Shame. I can't remember the name of the author. I'm in a book club.
Oh, okay.
Which has actually been quite cool. It's online, and 80% of the people live in the US, and they're much younger than me. But it's just books I would never have even read or picked up or thought of in my life. Like my favorite book of all time is The God of Small Things by Arundhati Roy. I think she's so talented. The way she wrote that book is just something else. I think we've got so many amazing African authors, the Chinua Achebes of the world, like Ngugi.
I'll be saying that about me
Your
and my
book. Yes, you're soon to be released.
So I really hope people like you will read my book.
Absolutely.
When it eventually come. Just fighting at the moment with the publisher and the editor. Also, we need to put it on Amazon and also on ebook for make it more accessible for people to read.
No, it's a must. It's a must.
And I'm kind of a newcomer, so trying to learn a lot of things. I'm a student of writing and getting that right, and my publisher told me forget it. Said I want to be a bestseller. Like, I need to do a lot of work to file a book. And I realized that, and I regret that I even got myself into this. But across the line now, I have to go all the way because, like, who's reading books these days?
People read good books. People read books. I can tell you that it's a niche thing, but the people that read. And I'm also secretly, well, not so secretly, but a writer. I'm trying to put together my manuscript of 10,000 words. I just haven't had the time to focus on it for too long. But maybe one of these days, if I catch a holiday, I can sit and write.
Yeah, maybe people like myself will inspire you to get it. So let's probably wind up a little bit with a few points. I just want you to share some parting thoughts, some ideas with regards to some of the current banning issues in the country that needs attention, apart from drinking and driving and alcohol abuse, others.
I mean, I don't think I'm going to talk about any specific issue because I believe that many issues hold the same level of importance. But what I will say is that we need to stop this apathy that we have gained or whatever formulated as South Africans. We need to stop not caring. And I know that many people talk a lot. We have a lot of talk shops, we have a lot of opinions, we have a lot of thoughts, but we need to put these into action in big ways if we can, in small ways if we can. But the only way that we get to live in a better country is if we all take part in what happens in our country. It's all the way from voting, it's all the way from having an opinion or feedback on some piece of legislature that the government is trying to pass. It's all the way to doing the right thing when it's your turn to do the right thing. We always complain about things in the country, but when it is our turn, we take part in the exact same things that might be framed differently. And most people are just so focused on their very specific causes because they affect them at that time. We need to have a longer view on what is best for, firstly, me, my family, my community, my world. But it all matters and it all feeds into each other. But apathy helps nobody.
Okay. Good point you're making. The lens that I'm looking at South Africa, it's sometimes I go home, I get told, sometimes it's colored roses. I see a lot of good things, a lot of many people doing good, helping each other. Just looking at the number of NGOs for everything else, that it's a problem. It's got people who are helping to make the difference, non-profit, including your organization, trying to really solve a problem, kind of a lot of rebels with a cause, making that difference. So what I find in South Africa is often, people who have the big negative voice tend to be more louder and ahead, but then we forget about the real good things that we do. I got a lot of friends living Europeans saying they want to live in South Africa.
Of course they do.
And South Africans says they want to leave.
No, they don't. So, they don't know this, but they don't.
So it's a very interesting thing. I mean, think about, the weather here is still the best in the world, even with what we're going through now. The food, the environment. I mean, it's just amazing. But with that, do you have any questions to me? Moment for revenge for you. I've been before we close.
No, absolutely no moments for revenge. But yeah, I'm interested to know, Peter, what do you think? What in your mind is the biggest cause that you think if we solved for this problem in this country, then it will have a ripple effect and fix everything else or touch everything else?
I mean, for me, the biggest thing, if I had that magic wand, voila,
that silver bullet,
is the gap between the haves and the have-not. I mean, you think about born and bred in this country, and just going to Diepsloot, Oliven, Cosmo, Soweto, Tembisa, and seeing the gap between those who have money and those who don't have. And also, I'm lucky in the sense that I kind of have access to rich people like yourself and those who don't have anything, and connect with them and see the gap
Both
is so
sides.
big. And
South Africa is the most unequal
and-
country in the world.
yeah, and often people don't even understand that I was telling some of my well-off white friends that there's kind of a different explanation of if a black person says they broke, it's serious.
They mean it. They're not
They're
saying.
gonna take their house. People want to shoot them for their money and all that. But if a white guy says he's broke, he's thinking about touching some of his savings, some, not all.
Of his savings. Yeah.
So that's the country that we are. And I mean, not just the visuals, but everything else. And you talk to people, it's like, oh, really? I mean, the big example is people like going to Cape Town and saying, when you land,
it's a different.
Beautiful, and then you drive and
past the airport,
the Gooks and those places, and then get into the mother city.
It's like Alex and Santon.
Yeah. So you don't see a lot of that. It doesn't hit you as much as the Cape Town situation, but then you need to also go in. Yeah, for me, that's the big thing that if I can solve that, we're all good. We're in a better place.
But how do you close the gap between the rich and the poor?
Addressing the issues around housing and education and all that.
Housing, education, it's the employment, housing, education, access to...
Housing is the best one. If you start, Midrand maybe is a good example. If you see what's coming up, addressing the, high-rise kind of a dorm house buildings in Midrand where the work is, because the biggest problem is if I stay in Soweto,
and I live 10 million kilometers
and go to work and burn all the money with Ria Vaya, it doesn't make sense. Or I live in Garangua and work in Pretoria.
Like most people use most of their salaries on transport, which is not sustainable.
Solving those problems, I think, will make a big difference.
Yes.
So that's...
the inequality is systemic.
Make me the mayor.
Make you the mayor.
I'll solve it, yeah.
Okay. We'll store this video for future use.
Yeah. So, Mokebe, thank you very much for really making the time and doing this chill hour with us and interview off the clock. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Peter. It's been an absolute pleasure and honor chatting with you.
Cool. Thanks.